Hello, everyone. November 2nd. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Hi, Fahime. We're here on our YouTube Live, and we're talking about the latest immigration news and, of course, the latest immigration plan numbers announced by the government, folks. Startup visa changes for 2024 to 2026. Canada's immigration level targets for those 3 years as well, are they less ambitious than the previous minister? A new chief international talent officer position? What does that mean? More French speaking permanent residents to Canada? Is the rural northern immigration pilot program here to stay for good as a permanent program? Will postgraduate work permit extensions or durations be dictated by the subject of study that the international student completes inside Canada? And will online passports be renewed for Canadian citizens without doing huge lineups at the passport office here in Canada? This and more in our deep dive live stream today on our YouTube channel, live, uncensored, unedited, and of course, no special effects, right? Expect nothing more than the exposed truth, just like the rest of our videos. Quick introduction if you don't know already. Who am I? I'm Reza from Ingwe Canada, licensed immigration practitioner, and our office specializes in helping businesses, people, and families move across various programs. Is this what I do for a living? Well, I'm not an actual full-time YouTuber, but I work hands-on with our licensed team in Toronto, working on actual applications and communicating with immigration departments and the overseas embassies on a daily basis on behalf of our clients and the clients of some of our B2B partners. Why are we posting this video in the first place? These are made for the purpose of sharing our hands-on immigration knowledge with our worldwide audience, including but not exclusive to existing clients, potential new applicants, and immigration consultants and agencies, no matter where they are. If you're thinking about immigrating, we're here to help. Get a free email assessment by filling out the form just down below. And of course, if you're an active immigration practitioner, we can assist you with outsourcing your back office operations, including assessments, processing, and pre and post landing support. We are we are a global mobility solution provider. Don't forget that. Here we go, folks. The new immigration targets for 2024 to 2026 are definitely less ambitious than the previous announcements, and I believe we all agree on that. Is this because RCC's backlog and processing capacity has been stretched out too thin? Too much negative feedback from Canadians and non-residents regarding long processing times, mistakes, and unnecessary refusals by embassies? Or is it perhaps budget cuts that the Liberal government is planning considering the future of the economy and the chances of being re-elected in future federal elections? Or is it because the new Minister of Immigration is more realistic than the previous minister? Time will only tell, but here's our breakdown of all the Canadian immigration news announced in the past 4 days. As you all know, an immigration system for Canada's future, quote unquote, report has been issued by the IRCC and has a lot of great ideas and concepts. We're going to post that link on our website with this article. We're going to read between the lines from this report and the government's immigration level plans that have been announced this past week for 2024 and up to 2026. In the report, the immigration system for Canada's future, we have come to notice several key points or themes which will provide a glimpse of what to expect in terms of the IRCC's true immigration strategy. No new hiring of staff by RCC. It seems like they're not planning to hire more processing staff than what was already announced previously, but rather depend more heavily on automation and technological support to handle the higher immigration applications. They have mentioned more user-friendly websites to be launched or designed. Well, keeping our fingers crossed on that. More IT-based support. What does that mean? I think that means AI. You know it and I know it. Yeah, AI decision making or AI assisted decision making, as they say. more streamlined LMI processing for recognized employer pilots, which just means less processing work for the government for trusted employers who want to hire foreign workers. After the fraud cases with all the Indian international students that happened this past year, IRCC is tightening up the letter of acceptance and education institution verification systems to protect both the students, the schools, and to try to weed out all those people who take advantage of these students, which shouldn't be the case, right? So that's good news. They have announced a chief international talent officer position. Wow. To help identify, manage demand and labor and talent for Canada. That's a big position. That's a big title. But where does this position fall within the Canadian government? Isn't the labor issue managed in terms of temporary foreign workers and talent with Service Canada and not IRCC? Will this new position titled Chief Talent Officer be in IRCC, Service Canada, or somewhere else? Well, all we know, it's too vague for us to take seriously at this point, and it sounds like a lot of fluff. The IRCC has indicated they want to align international students with the labor shortage in Canada and focus on getting these skilled and in-demand international students to work in Canada based on the subjects they study. This means that this could lead to higher priorities in 2024 and 2025 and beyond for study permits based on in-demand subjects. Postgraduate work permits could be affected based on what you study and complete in Canada. So the duration of your postgraduate work permit and extensions could be affected after you've completed that specific program. Basically, the government wants to move away from a free-for-all, letting all internationals come in, all international students come in and study anything, and focus on specific subjects that would benefit Canada. Stay tuned for more insights over the coming year. Let's see how IRCC can actually implement this policy. Although they didn't announce it the way I've presented it, I'm just reading between the lines, folks. That's why. Otherwise, if you just want to read plain vanilla, go on the website, read it as it is. But you got to read between the lines. What is their true intention? The best news of all probably is the Rural Northern Immigration Pilot Program, which is here to stay as a permanent program with a few tweaks and changes to focus on priority sectors and maybe sprinkling a little bit of Francophone on it as well. This was a pilot program until February 2024, and based on the recent report, it looks like it will become or be announced as a permanent program in the next few months before it's expired. It's a hidden gem, and if you don't know about this program, you should. If you know about startup visa, but you don't know about the Rural Northern Immigration Pilot, you are behind the times, folks. It's one of those underrated and underrepresented programs that is a direct PR program from overseas, similar to the Atlantic Immigration Program, AIP, which is now quite popular and originally started as a pilot program as well. An interesting insight from this new report is also this statement. And I'm going to quote this one because you can figure out what it means maybe, or we can read between the lines together. Quote unquote, explore options to leverage the investment of those coming to Canada in order to support more affordable housing, building on best practices, explore and adapt an immigration pathway for foreign nationals committed to investing in and building the net new housing in Canada. Rigorous design and monitoring for compliance would ensure that benefits are fully realized. This could be an indication that Canada could wake up and realize that other governments around the world, such as the USA, have been leveraging foreign investors and immigrants' funds to help build and facilitate infrastructure projects in their country. But knowing Canadian policymakers, they will make it very difficult and complicated to create hurdles for such programs that it would be doomed for failure, and actual home builders would not qualify or be attracted to come and invest in Canada. But stay tuned. If you're in construction, a builder, or an investment equity firm looking for opportunities to help Canada with the housing crisis. So far, theoretical, but we got to watch out for 2024. We're going to explore the economic immigration targets, including but not exclusive to the Startup Visa program, shortly in this live stream. And folks, we will circle back to our questions and comments here on our YouTube comment section, because this is a live stream. And if you're watching this later on, you're like, what is this guy saying? Who's he talking to? Well, it's a live stream. People are posting, our audience are posting comments and questions, and we'll circle back to that at the end of this live stream. Canada's immigration level plans 2024, 2025, and 2026. Basically, a continuation of the same plans which were announced last year for their 3-year targets. Same target levels as 2024, with 485,000 new permanent residents being planned to be processed next year. For 2025 and 2026, the government is targeting 500,000 new permanent residents each year. In 2023, the targets were 465, and as per the previous 3-year plan, and those targets are on track. So the 500,000 hasn't changed for 2025, but 2026 is just a continuation of the same target. So no big news. They're just trying to keep that ambitious number, and time will tell if they can actually achieve those targets. Higher targets for French-speaking permanent residents for outside of Quebec. And they're planning to increase that from 4.4% and transition it until the end of 2026 to 8% of all the permanent residents they allow into Canada. This means that 29,100 French-speaking permanent residents outside of Quebec will be welcomed to Canada as permanent resident, and up to 40,000 until the end of for the year of 2026 will be processed. And this is a huge increase. And we'll look at that later on today in terms of the statistics. Priority sectors for the labor crunch are now identified as STEM-related occupations such as health, sciences, technology, engineering, mathematics, as well as trades and transportation and agriculture. We all know that trades and agriculture have always been a pain point for Canada, along with hospitality, such as cooks and chefs. But it seems like hospitality has taken a back burner and has been dropped from the priority sectors, or at least the wording used by the IRCC and the minister as part of their priority sectors in their plan. However, we still have to see if IRCC will update their internal work permit processing occupations for 2024 based on these new plans, because as you all know or should know, they have a list of prioritized occupations that embassies prioritize over other occupations when an work permit is being issued, whether it's LMI or LMI exempt. If you didn't know that, fun fact of the day. Specific wording has been emphasized around support services and quote unquote whole government in this announcement, addressing such issues as shortage of accommodation and housing for newcomers in healthcare. However, it is doubtful that this government, while still in power, can resolve both of these issues. Backlog and pressure on the public health sector system is ongoing since COVID-19, and definitely no end in sight. There's a serious shortage. The housing problem will not be resolved, and don't hold your breath for this one, folks. There's going to be a long-term challenge, even for the next government and future generations in Canada to come. Student visa target levels are unchanged. Is that good news? Is that bad news? Meaning they're still in line with the previous targets, and 2026 will see the same levels as was announced for the 2025 targets, which would be 6,000 new permanent residencies processed through the Student Visa Business Program combined with the self-employed program. This is the same targets that we saw in 2025 and 2024, is still at 5,000 level, announced by RCC back a year ago. Don't forget that these targets, again, are combined with federal self-employed program, which has an approximate 4-year processing time, and I doubt any genuine applicants want to apply for the federal self-employed program for agriculture and sports. So the majority probably will go to the startup visa allocation. However, in the new report published this past week by RCC, they did again re-emphasize the key priority and how they want to change the startup visa program. And here's the quote, and I'm just quoting, folks: continue to improve the startup visa program. This is in bold letters, including prioritizing applications that are supported by venture capital angel investor groups and business incubators and have capital committed, along with applications that are supported by business incubators that are members of the Canada's Tech Network. Is this just a recording of what the previous minister announced at the last collision conference here in June, Toronto, back in June 2023 in Toronto. Why are they not releasing details regarding the implementation of this new prioritized startup visa program for startup groups supported and invested by VCs, angel investors, or endorsed by the Canada Tech Network business incubators? Why have we have spoken with designated organizations who have direct channels with RCC, and they said it's very vague. And RCC doesn't even know how they want to implement this new policy. More questions than answers. Don't expect any clarity from IRCC anytime soon about these startup visa announcements that are duplicated again and again, are duplication of what was announced back in June earlier this year, 2023. Remember, we're always posting about these key details for RCC's new policies and immigration programs for professionals and entrepreneurs. And if that's what you're interested in, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more deep dive videos. And if I speak too fast, you can just go to the recording and put it at 0.5 speed mode so it slows down, folks. Express entry target levels have been increased slightly for 2024, 2025, and 2026. In the latter years, up by 3,500 annually, which includes federal skilled worker, federal skilled trades, and CEC. And keep in mind, folks, Express Entry has also a lot of the category-based selections now. That is now the flavor of the day alongside the PNP nominations. Interestingly enough, the economic pilots have been dropped slightly in their target numbers, and the main reason for that is that the RNIP will become a permanent program next year and have its own allocations. Hence, in reality, if you remove the rural northern immigration pilot, it means that this category of the economic pilots has seen a slight nudge upwards in terms of their annual targets for the next 3 years. Here's some big news. The Atlantic Immigration Program has seen a huge drop in its target levels by 70%, which is not good news for applicants looking to the AIP for Canadian permanent residency. Provincial nominee programs have slightly adjusted upwards towards 120,000 allocations per year for all territories and provinces combined, except Quebec, and 2,000 annual target increase in all family sponsorship categories, including parents and grandparents, and for the spousal and common law sponsorship cases. So that is still a priority, a little bit of a nudge, going a little bit higher, but of course, processing capacity and speed seems to be the priority for everyone. Absolutely no significant changes for the humanitarian compassion grants and refugee targets. They remain the same. But the major change was the French-speaking permanent residents outside of Quebec, that target which we discussed. This number was at a high of 19,900 previously and has increased by 58% to 31,150 by 2025 and by 81% increase in 2000 permanent residents for that year to be welcomed who are French-speaking and are going outside of Quebec. This is probably the biggest change in commitment that the Canadian Immigration Department has announced so far in this new 3-year plan, maintaining the rest of the program similar to previous years, except a few changes as we discussed in this video. This means the Francophone strategy for outside Quebec is real and in full force. And if you don't know what the Francophone Mobility Program and the strategies are, tune in and search in our videos and you'll see and watch that video to know more about that program. If you know French or studying French, you have a much better option to apply for your PR in Canada or come to work or study in Canada. This is a fact. There's a serious advantage now in Canadian immigration for French-speaking applicants. And if you know a French-speaking applicant, spread the word. Now that Quebec is closing its borders by increasing costs for international students to study there, it looks like the rest of Canada will capitalize on this. I know there's not much excitement in this 3-year immigration level announcement by the IRCC this past week, but you do need to understand with the new plan strategy changes for the next few years, the following takeaways have to be noted. Studying any subject in Canada as an international student will not be productive or good use of your time or money to stay here permanently. The RCC is going to prioritize and target specific STEM-based subjects and also trades and agriculture for study permits and more flexibility for postgraduate work permits from these graduates from these subjects. French-speaking workers and students will be prioritized. Business immigration programs will continue as they are before. The startup visa will have faster processing, more processing, and potentially the government is considering specific immigration paths to allow foreign investors and builders to come and help with the housing crisis in Canada. Empty promises? Well, time will tell, but everyone should be ready. Can you expect an EB5 Canada soon? Probably not. Canada likes hands-on active management applicants, so we have to wait to see the details of their plan over the coming year. And don't be surprised if it's outside of the major cities to try to develop those communities. Increasing the population of the rural communities is also an ongoing theme by making the rural northern immigration pilot a permanent program, or planning to make it a permanent program in early 2024 is also a key takeaway and something to consider for future applicants looking for direct PR path. If you like immigration hacks, creative immigration solutions, or key analysis and the exposed truth about immigration policies and updates, then you can click on the subscribe button for our YouTube channel. And if you're thinking about immigrating, whether permanently or temporarily, you're at the right place. We just don't offer immigration, but we offer solutions. I can guarantee only one point. You'll know what to expect. The entire process clearly laid out for you, and all the risks identified, including costs. Our legal agreements are based on payment milestones, which are linked directly to application progression. We don't take 100% advance payment for your business immigration applications. We have a $1 million liability insurance, which protects you and us from our fraud or mistakes, as well as a dedicated client trust account with our Canadian banks. Our team speaks over 9 languages, and we help applicants from over 50 different countries during the immigration process. And I'm not joking. We have the list. Click the link below this video and get a free email assessment for eligible applicants only. And don't forget, folks, I'm the one that makes sure you don't need a lawyer to apply for federal court in case you're refused. Our motto is you do it once and you do it correctly. If you're ready to apply and want a one-on-one session with me or one of my immigration team members at Ingwe, you can book a session directly using the consultation also in the description of this video. And if you're wondering, why should I book, or how do I know you know your stuff? Well, you can take our immigration knowledge for a test drive before you book the one-on-one consultation with me. And by tuning in to our YouTube channel every Thursday, 11 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time, that's basically local time, New York, Montreal, Miami, Toronto, Kingston, Ottawa, and so forth, where we answer all of your immigration questions for free on the spot. And yes, folks, you guessed it, we're here in our live session today, and we're going to go to our comments and questions in the YouTube box here. Fahima Rafi, good morning from rainy Vancouver. Fahima, good morning to you. I'm not in the morning country right now. I'm in the evening because I am traveling. But yeah, good morning. Good to see you. Nashwan Ali, hi Reza. According to IRCC, how many hours can international students work per week? And if they can work more than 20 hours per week, does that apply in the next year? Nashwan Ali, until the end of this year, you can work full-time, even while studying full-time so work full-time off campus while studying full-time. There has been no announcement in terms of the extension of this policy to 2024 yet, as of November 2nd, 2023. So we don't know. We expect this will change or will be extended, or with some conditions and terms. Time will tell. Prashant Rathi, hi Reza, how are you? Is there any new announcement made by the immigration minister on startup visa and open work permits associated with startup visa? Great question, Prashant. The open work permit, I think that's like the topic of the year this year. Like everyone's looking for that open work permit. I have validation that they still want to do it, but no timeline yet. Okay, no announcement. Angel, good evening, Reza. How's Dubai? Angel, any updated stats about approved federal business quota for 2023? Yeah, we went through it, Angel, right? You saw it, sort of visa business, similar. I mean, nothing's changed. All the other programs, similar. AIPs dropped, French up, rural programs becoming permanent. That was in a nutshell. But no significant increases or decreases for startup visa business or business immigration programs. Okay. However, there may be a new program that they will announce trying to help or connect the housing crisis with investors. I don't know. They mentioned it in the report of their future strategy in immigration. What that means, nobody knows. I think somebody had an idea during a coffee break and they figured, hey, let's chuck that in the report. It may sound cool and fancy. We'll see. And how's Dubai? Not bad, folks. Not bad. A little bit expensive, though, gotta admit. Nikki Patel, hello Reza. Hey Nikki, how are you? Good morning, good evening. Good evening for me, good morning for you. Any update about the startup visa and current which year or month is under process? Right now, we're just seeing 2021's, end of 2021's moving over to early 2022's, but no recent stats or data that I've seen that can give us new information. Abu Bakr Maksamed. Hi Reza, good morning. Good morning, Abu Bakr. Negar Mozaffar. Hello Reza. Can a 22-year-old last year student in Canada be eligible for startup visa? Money English is not a problem. I mean, from a point of view of not having experiences and the age. Yeah, you just can't be a minor, Negar. So you could apply for startup visa, but if you have zero work experience and you've never been in a startup and 22 years old, they will try to challenge you. Okay. Unless it's a startup that is really gaining a lot of traction and it's really genuine, right? So technically, you're eligible if that student eligible for startup visa. Whether IRCC will like it or not and give you a tough time for the permanent residency processing, that depends on how successful the startup is. Okay. Because I've seen it where they've seen kids from high school or somebody who's just, whatever, coming in, no work experience, very young, and they try to grill that person. They try to refuse them. Previously, no, but now it's becoming tougher, right? So in theory, yes. Practically, make sure the startup is amazing, okay? Fato Yimbu, John Fato. Hi, Reza. Is there no new update on the 3-year open work permit? No, Fato Yimbu. We have validation that it's still in the plans and it wasn't BS like I thought it was. And I declared that last week that maybe it was a mistake. It was just a 3-year close work, but no, it seems like they still want to do it, but no clarity. Could come anytime, folks. Abdul Rahman Salat, nice to see you. If LMI work permit is refused, so for reapplication, new LMI is required or old one? As long as the old one is still valid, you can reapply for the work permit. If it's not valid, you will need a new LMIA. Nashwan Ali, the 3,500 PR number allocated for business immigration programs, including SUV in 2023, means 3,500 individuals or 3,500 main applicants, no matter the number of dependents, or 3,500 groups. Nashwan, definitely not groups. These are main applicants. Okay. Nikki Patel, IRCC is taking too much time to process the file. Yes, Nikki, I agree. Most people agree as well. It's a shared pain amongst all of us. Fato Yimbu, John Fato, what are the benefits differences in the federal startup visa program, FSUP, is that, and Prince Edward Island startup program? The startup program, Prince Edward Island, is just a entrepreneur program. I believe that's what you're referring to, Fatihumbu. There's no actual startup visa program there. It's maybe the entrepreneur program. The federal program is startup visa, right? You get endorsed by a local designated organization. You have an innovative concept that is you want to move and operate here in Canada. You meet the basic eligibility. It's a direct PR, has nothing to do with any province. You just have to stay outside of Quebec. Prince Edward Island, entrepreneur program just for Prince Edward Island, and very different program. Startup visa program has no net worth, has an optional work permit, not a mandatory work permit, and it's a direct PR, and you can apply from outside, and there's no points or expression of interest. Anita Miles, hi, do you whatsoever help with finding a job? Oh, Anita, no, we don't. We're not a recruitment firm. We don't actually help people find jobs. And the labor market is going downhill very fast in Canada. So it's becoming more difficult. You'd have to talk to recruitment firms or directly with employers to see if they're interested to hire you. Nikki Patel, not getting any idea about the further process. I feel like we're stuck. We couldn't withdraw the file after waiting 26 months and can't wait anymore. Yeah, I mean, Nikki Metal, you're at the end of the line. I mean, you're just there, you're almost there. So hold on, it should be good. Alcides Pinheiro. Hi, Reza. Me and my wife are planning to move to Canada. We're both physicians. The two agencies that we did a consultation with were both uninformative. Can you offer unbiased info at yours? Unbiased info, yeah, everyone knows who watches this channel. It is raw, it is unbiased, and it's a bit edgy. But in terms of like what program for doctors, I'll see this. If you're not from UK or US or Australia, converting to continue to stay as a physician in practice is very time consuming, and you have to redo everything in terms of education. So you're, and I'm just looking at some of your other messages. First one gave only one option, the study visa. Second one didn't seem to be willing to evaluate their personal case. Interesting. There's a lot of options, but practicing as a physician is not easy, right? And if you're from, I assume, maybe Central South America, you could come in through business, right? You could invest in a medical clinic. You don't need to be licensed for that. Yes, education is an option for the spouse, but there's not a lot of options, right? Like business immigration, or you can be even hired as skilled workers, right? In something else, but maybe related, transferability of skills, and be provincially nominated. Those are the things. I mean, I'll see this. There's some options you can send over. We can do an assessment. You can book a consultation. We can do an assessment, but it depends on your budget. And I always tell to my clients, Canadian immigration is this. This is time. This is money. You take this one up, this one comes down. You take this one up, this one comes down. It's a fine balance. Angel, I meant of the allocate 2023 quota, how many have been approved in federal business? I don't have the stats yet, Angel, unfortunately, the final stats, and it's always lagging. So we just have to wait and see. Abid Jamil, sir, what about ICT visas effect after new immigration plan? Will it process fast or remain slow or same as before? Same as before, Abid. No significant changes. Alcides says, thank you. Well, no problem, folks. If you do have questions, of course, you can post it. We're here every week, Thursdays, YouTube live stream, answering question period, where you can answer anything you want that I can publicly say, of course, and that is within our capacity to answer. We guide you, we inform you, and we break through to the truth to make sure that everyone is informed for our audience. Okay, I am traveling, so next week I'm not sure if I'm doing the live or not, but stay tuned. I think I am. I'm not sure. But yeah, stay tuned, and we will be here every week on YouTube Live while I'm trying it, or if I'm at an event, maybe not, but 99%, as you all know, I'm here Thursdays. Nashwan could choosing certain provinces over others have an effect on PRSUV approval? Could you explain that? No, Nashwan. For the startup visa federal program, it has zero effect unless you're going to Quebec, so you'll be refused. But if you do anything outside of Quebec, it has no effect on your approval rate. Okay, study permits are different, but startup visa, no. Anita Miles, one last question, please. Okay, I do not have IELTS. Is there any way your team helps me find an affordable college that doesn't require IELTS? Anita, yes, there's many affordable quote-unquote colleges, private. Public colleges are affordable, some, and they fill up fast. People literally do the admission a year in advance. If you don't have IELTS, there's some that could do a basic Duolingo, or if you did post-secondary education, Anita, or you studied in English for a certain part of your life and you have proof, we could get an exemption for you. But each case is different. So don't take my word for it right now. We'd have to look at your case. Our team would have to look at your case and say, yes, it's possible, or no, it doesn't. It's very specific, but it has been done before and we've done it before. But each case is different. If you don't know any English, you've never studied English, and you can't take even a Duolingo exam, potentially. I know the Duolingos have been phased out now for most. You could also do a pathway program, Anita, and that would depend on your nationality, whether the study permit would be approved or not. So again, a lot of factors. Reach out to us, tell them you are interested in education, and so forth. Fato Yembu, John Fato. Can 2 or 3 people in a group submit an application for startup program? Yes, Fato Yembu. 1 to 5 co-founders can apply together. Work permits, PR, startup visa. Nikki Patel, thanks for giving good hope. This encourages for waiting. Nikki, I'm telling you, you're almost there. Okay, I don't want you to bail. We need you here. Angel, can a letter of intent from a prospective client considered as traction? Yes, it helps a Canadian client even more. If it's related to your startup, like if you're into healthcare and you have a letter of intent from a restaurant, no. But yeah, it helps. Collaboration agreements, joint ventures, letters of intent, agreements for pilot projects that you're going to implement this on the customer site. These are important, and correspondences to build up, and the legitimacy of that client. There's website. Where are they? How big are they? These are all key factors, Angel, that you should consider. Nashwanal, my question, because I found many people select Ontario and BC for their sort of visa program. My question, if there's any benefit if someone chooses another province, as long as you don't choose Quebec, there's no benefit. You could have a designated organization sponsor you from Manitoba, from Nova Scotia, from Saskatchewan, Prince Edward Island, but you could move to a different province. So there's no restrictions and there's no benefit or advantage for that. Okay, for startup visa program to actually be designated, be endorsed by an incubator or venture capital angel investor from a specific province or intention to go to that province. Besides Quebec, it's a free-for-all. You can go anywhere. It has no disadvantages or advantages. Okay? Hope that's clear, folks. So, folks, seems like there's no more questions, which is good and bad. Good in terms of I can go have dinner, and bad in terms of does everyone know everything already and there's no questions anymore in the immigration universe or galaxy? There you go, folks. Oh, Anita, there's a question. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We'll surely get in touch with your team again. Thank you. Yes, ingwe.ca. Fill out a form. Tell them you're interested in education. They'll pass it on. Anita, by the way, which country, like nationality and residency, can you tell me? Just so I have an idea. There's always a lag, right? When I talk, and then you can post the comments or the answers. There's usually like a minute lag. But yeah, if you can let me know, I can probably guide you a little bit better or have an idea. Negar Muzaffar, thanks a lot. Always dinner this time. Where are you, in Canada? No, Negar, I'm in Dubai. Yes. Otherwise, who has dinner at 12:45, right? In Canada. Yeah, maybe some people do, but I don't know them. Yeah, good point, Negar. Yeah, folks, I am overseas, so yeah, my time zone is definitely different. Oh, okay, Anita, you said Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, yeah. So you're probably studied in English. That's what I assume. So that's good news. That could potentially make you exempt from taking the language exam. So reach out to us. Keep in mind that if you don't have travel history, or if your parents don't have travel history and strong assets, study permits are challenging. So we can assess that as well when we do your admission. Emir Askari, hi. Hey, Emir. Hayat Khan, hi Reza, good morning, good day. Hayat Khan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We're good evening here. Abu Bakr Maximed, haha. Negar Mazafar, oh, I see. Yes. Anita Maz, Africa. Yes, Anita, I know where Zimbabwe is. I mean, there's some countries I don't know. Like, I've never been to Zimbabwe. It's one of those bucket list places that I do want to visit, but I guess I'm just waiting for a little bit more stability. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff about Zimbabwe. And I know people from Zimbabwe. Emir Askri, what about the implementation of the new work permit for startup visa? Is it really happening regarding the open work permit? Emir, supposedly it is. Yes, we have validation that they're planning to. They want to. But when and how? No news on that. Hayat Khan, thank you. No problem, folks. Folks, it's time to go. Thanks for joining us on YouTube Live. Again, if this was your first time joining, you're like, what is this guy talking about? Who is he talking to? This is a live stream. There's an audience. There's people posting questions and answers. And we're here every Thursday, 11 a.m. local time, East Coast local time. So New York, Toronto, Miami, Ottawa, Montreal. Pick your city. As long as it's East Coast, 11 a.m. We're here, YouTube, answering your questions and guiding you. Siraj Ahmed, hi Reza, hey Siraj, Emir Askri, thanks, no problem. Hayat Khan, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We'll be back here next week. And if you just missed us or missed this session, if you replay the recording, I went through all of the new immigration strategy report announced by RCC and all the new immigration target levels up to 2026. Not a lot of big changes, but in certain areas there was huge drops and huge increases. So watch this live recording, which is going to be posted now on our YouTube channel. Siraj, what is the update for 2021 applicant SUVs? Hold on. December applicant SUVs. So they're under process. So we even have clients in December that are already under review. A lot of request letters coming and going, folks. March 2022 biometric. When can we expect it? You can expect it now. Next 2 months, you should have some news, Siraj. Okay? There's no guarantee, but this is what we're seeing with other startup visa groups. Okay, folks? Thanks, everyone. Take care. See you next Thursday, 11 a.m. local time in Toronto, YouTube live stream. Have a good one. Enjoy. And always remember, do your research before you start. Immigrate with a plan. Just don't immigrate for the sake of immigrating. Okay? Thanks, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.